Ahoy there, YouTube! We're back again today for more of our Gencon Bonanza Explosion Blowout coverage. We're live at Gencon 2017, thanks in part to all of our amazing Kickstarter backers. And right now, we're going to give some love to our amazing sponsors. We got Black Souls, which is coming out from Medieval Lords later this year on Kickstarter. We have Bleem Games, who's going to be redoing Dark Mages. And then we have Tasty Minstrel Games, who sponsors everything we do. We love them. Right now, we are here at the Mayday Games booth with Kenny, and he's about to tell us about an upcoming game from one of my favorite designers of all time, Antoine Bauza, and this is Rooster Rush. Hey, Kenny.
How you doing?
What is Rooster Rush?
Rooster Rush is from Antoine Bauza and Corentin Lebrat, and they, Antoine Bauza likes his kind of quirky and sometimes chaotic games. Some of us have that to them, and this is definitely a chaotic game. It's essentially a speed kind of dexterity game. In the game, it's we're playing as roosters who are trying to get across the street, right? Because why did chickens cross the road? It's to try to survive from the granny speeding on her moped. That's kind of our philosophy. So in the game, basically, we're at a a crosswalk or something like that, and we're playing as roosters trying to get across the street. Well, the way we do that is you based on number of players, you put some cards out. These are the crossing cards, and based on whichever ones come up, those are the tokens we're going to use. So we're going to use the fire truck, we're going to use Granny on her moped, and the police car. In this case, we won't be using the ambulance or the taxi. Those get set aside. And then what we do is we split up these they're poker chips, and among the players, even spectators can join in on this part, even if they're not playing in the game. And everybody's going to have one, and simultaneously then we're going to reveal the cards, and then everybody's going to spin their poker chips. So these are all going to be spinning on the table. If you can imagine a whole bunch, 3 or 4 of them spinning on the table. At any point, once the poker chips are spinning, you can try to claim a card. They're worth various points, 2, 3, or 4 points. A card is safe to claim, so if this, say they had landed like this, for instance, I don't know. If they had landed like this, you would have to look afterwards. You put your hand on a card. Once you touch a card, you have to stay there. A card is safe to go if all the icons on the card are not showing on the chips. So in this case, this one would be okay. You could have claimed that. There's some stuff on there to make it hard to see. Some are in black and white. That's to make it more difficult to see. But you could have claimed this card. That would have been appropriate because neither the police car or Granny are showing face up. Okay?
This one good as well?
This one would be good as well because nothing is showing here. This one, however, if you'd have claimed this one's not safe because the fire truck is shown face up, which means the fire truck hit you, essentially. So this becomes a negative point you'd put in front of you as a negative point. Anytime you get 3 negatives, you're out of the game. You're eliminated from the game.
Oh.
Otherwise, these become points for you, and it's the first to, I forget how many points, first to get like 11 or more on their own. If you're tied at 11, everybody keeps playing until someone has a clear victory or something like that. The other thing you can do is if you don't think anything is safe, say these all had landed face up, and I realize they're going to do that, I can claim this button. What this lets me do is get rid of one of my negatives. I can discard one of my negatives and be still in the game. If you're wrong on that, nothing happens. But you can't move your hand. Whoever is first there wins. And basically, so you're watching these things as they're spinning, trying to determine what's going to happen. Is it going to land face up? Is it going to land face down? Which card do I claim? You can wait until everybody's done and then claim the last card or do nothing, but that's risking it. You want to try to get the higher point cards and win your victory. That's the whole game. You play until someone gets the required number of points. It only takes about, I think, 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, it says 15 minutes on the box. That's pretty accurate. And for our Kickstarter that's coming up, we actually have a little expansion pack, some expansions that come with it. One is the designer pack, which comes with a special little disc here, which has pictures of designer Antoine Bauza on one side and Corentin Lebrat on the other side. And we have some other ones that the Heavy Rain expansion, which makes it just harder to see, right? Rain on the cards, and then the Thick Mist series cards. Let me flip them over here. They're harder to see, just makes it more challenging whenever you're doing this all at once. And then there's the Traffic Jam, and these have tons, but you notice they're mostly the same icons, but even more, so you have to, it just makes it harder to see these things. So these will all be add-ons and or stretch rewards whenever the Kickstarter is coming up.
And when is the Kickstarter coming up?
Should be coming up. It'll be our next Kickstarter coming up in late this year, so probably fall, winter of this year. So we have a couple of games we're trying to figure out where they go on the schedule, but it should be by the end of the year, or at least next year.
Looks like a fantastic children's drinking game, slash drinking game. If you're enjoying this Gen Con coverage, please click on that subscribe button down below. In the comments below, let me know, what's the biggest thing you've ever hit with your car?
A cow.
Wow. Do tell.
Well, you know, in the rural area of New Mexico and Utah, you can come across cows. And luckily I did not hit him hard, but I did tap him a little bit to move him off the road.
That's intentional. That's even better. I hit a deer. I wish I could say it was intentional, but it was unintentional. Yeah, clipped him.
My cow survived. How about the deer?
They're all going to die eventually. But let me know in the comments below, what's the biggest thing you ever hit with your car. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.